Hello there. Hello there. I don't know whether you heard the first time, but yeah, well, I'm out camping again. As I said, I'll do a woodland camp. But this here is, it's quite local to me. And I didn't I'll show you the entries because I don't want no one to know where it is. Anyway, I found a little spot in here. And you know what I mean, I cleared it out before I even started recording. I cleared most of it. I've just got to do a little bit more and then set the tent up. And I'll show you where it is. Oops. So there you go. That's just where, like, just by the side there. I'll be using them a new tent that I got. I haven't done an overlook, but I'll do that another time, and I'll show you. If I already have done an overlook, then you'll see it beforehand. But until then, you know what I mean. You'll see what I've got. It's very similar to the Cloud Up 2, but it's a Cloud Up. It's more like a Cloud Up 1, but you know what I mean. But it's a similar. You know what I mean. I think Nature Hike they call it. It's a Cloud Up type of design. Anyway, this is where I'm going to be. Just here. I'm going to get rid of all this as well, so I don't pop my thing. Anyway, I'll get this on the go, and well, I'll see you in a minute. Right, sorry about that. Nearly didn't start recording. Either way, like I said, this is very similar to the Cloud Up range from Nature Hike. You'll soon see what I mean when I set it up. You know, I nearly thought I forgot coals, but I didn't. only takes 5 pegs to peg out. You don't need none for the fly sheet, and then obviously you're gonna need, if you like, I ain't gonna put the guy ropes out for obvious reasons, you know what I mean, because there's not enough room for one. Number two is there's no point. If any wind's gonna come through, it's gonna be broken by all this bush, because I'm literally in a little wooded area down the road. Down that way, over there's some housing, and just behind me there's a road, and over that way is if you've seen some of my videos, you've seen me in the Out Sunny 2-man backpacking tent. You know, there's a sewage works there. Bleating stinks, but the problem is I ain't worried about the smell. It's bleating mozzies. They're all over the place. But there's no worries about that. I bought some mosquito repellent this time, so I ain't going to be eaten alive. But as I said, anyway, look, all you need is 5 pegs to you know, to keep it down. And it's quite. I'll show you, like, you know what I mean. I'll quickly give you a look round. As you can see, it's you know, it's about, I don't know, a third nylon and the rest netting. But like, I'll give you a proper view when I do a quick look over. You know what I mean, of it. But yeah, as you can see, it's very similar to the Cloud Up. You know what I mean? But this is an Out Sunny. It's a, if you could call it a Cloud Up clone. You know what I mean? But makes a real difference. It works. It's like, you know, I think the bottom sheet is 2000 or 210 nylon, 210D nylon. The fly sheet itself is about 210 nylon, something like, or 110 nylon. But it's a 2000mm hydrostatic head, so you ain't going to get wet anytime soon. You know what I mean? So, and it's cheap as well. Like I said, I will give you an overlook of it. You know what I mean? But, sometime this week. I'll come out today because it's tomorrow's my birthday. You know what I mean? I'll be 54 tomorrow. So, you know what I mean? Nice celebration coming out. You know, but the problem is I forgot my beers. as I said, it's my birthday tomorrow, and you know, I come out getting all excited coming out to do this, and I forgot my beers. You know what I mean? So it'd be a sort of a celebration. I'm going to be out all day tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing another camp, you know, tomorrow night. So I'm out all day on my birthday. So at least that's a bonus. But I'm only down the road from my gaff, so you know what I mean. I might pop home and get the beers. You know what I mean? Maybe a bit later. Leave this here. No one's going to come here. They don't even know it's here. You know what I mean? But I'll go home and get the beers and come back. You know what I mean? Might just do that. But it matters not really. So like I said, we'll do a quick overlook on this another day, and I'll tell you the price, the stats of it, you know what I mean, and show you it properly. And I'll tell you what I like and dislike about it. But other than that, you know, I slept in it a couple of nights around a friend's house, like in his garden. You know what I mean? So, and it's quite, it's like a very good experience, you know what I mean? But you know, nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it anyway. I don't know what the cloud up's like. You know, I can't afford like 100 odd quid for a tent just like this. Like I said, I'll tell you the price of it another day. But no, we'll forget about that for now. We'll just get on with this. And so, you know what I mean, I'll show you my grub and stuff. Anyway, I'll quickly set this up. I don't think you want to see me set the rest of it up. This has been going on for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? All I've been doing is talking rubbish. So I'll just chuck all this in and I'll show you when everything's done, because it's getting a bit dark anyway. This is now. It's now, you know what I mean? Something like. Nice, we've got to finish that either way. It's now coming up to like, well, nearly 20 to 9 now. So, and it gets dark about 9:30. So, anyway, I'm going to chuck all this stuff in here and make sure the mozzies don't get in. See, look, there's one I just squashed. See a little turd. Keep them grabbing me. I've got, like I said, I've got some mozzie repellent, so I won't be eaten alive. Anyway, I did say I was going to bring you back. Alright, see you in a minute. I don't know what you can see, you probably can't see now. But let's put you down here so a bit closer. Yeah, at the moment I'm just brewing myself a coffee, you know. Nice butterfly flying around this, but yeah, I was brewing myself a coffee. Mosquito repellents worked. I had one on me since I put that stuff on, but you know, can't get this along because I got it wrong. The road is behind me that way. right there is the sewage works, right there is the housing estate. And the problem is having this light on for too long might attract a bit of attention from them. So these are just going to be brief, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, like I said, brewing myself a coffee, and I'm gonna, like, I haven't done anything in there in the tent yet. I'm gonna do that soon, you know what I mean? I just couldn't be bothered right now. But either way, you know what I mean, I'll just see where it's going, how things are, and just get on with it, you know what I mean? But this is the only available place I can put the light. It's just on the, you know, on a little branch that's hanging out, on a little stump from the tree. You know what I mean? So I don't want to attract too much attention, because around here, you know, there's a lot of homeless people, and they camp around a lot around here, and they get moved on, if you know what I mean, by the police and such like. If I you know, have this light on for too long and someone sees it and they think it's one a homeless person, obviously the old bill will come and I'll be moved on. So, like I said, I keep this brief. I've only got, like at this moment in time, I've got you know, some noodles, chicken noodles I think this is, no, beef noodles. I've got some German sausage to put in with that, you know what I mean, and I've got a load of snacks like biscuits, you know what I mean, and another little bit. This is the German sausage, you know what I mean, and, you know, that I can put in with the thing. Tonight I'm going to have some of that with the noodle, and then like, you know what I mean, and I've got some like some crisps, you know what I mean. Yeah, I've got some sausage rolls and stuff. Also got some bread rolls, what I'm saving for the morning, so I can have this with breakfast tomorrow morning. And I've got some scones as well, somewhere if I can find them. Yeah, a couple of scones. Only cheap stuff, you know what I mean, mad stuff. A lot of it, but yeah. Anyway, I better turn this light off, and I'll see you when I do a bit of grub. Alright then. I've got to get up. Alright then. See you later. Hello. I know you can't see nothing, so I can barely see. Look. Now what you're seeing now is some I'm looking through a pair of NV goggles, and I'm going to try and, you know, make things better, which ain't helping. Try different. Nope. Don't ask me what that was. Probably a fox. Yeah, no, it's a bird. Oh. This is what you're seeing now. This is with infrared on. So, as you can see, it's very effective, and this is why I brought it with me, because it gets really dark in these little wooded areas, and I might do another one the next like tomorrow night, and we might go in a deep dark wooded area. I mean, like this is here, I can still see without the goggles, as in, you know, it's getting darker, don't get me wrong, but I can still see a certain amount. I can see you know, leaves and plants blowing, but I'm in the place what we used to call the jungle, down Enfield Lock when I was a kid. Used to go in there and, you know, play air gun wars and, you know, and the such like. That gets literally pitch black. You can't see like your fingers. You can touch your eyeball and you still won't see your finger. You know what I mean? That's how dark it gets in there. But like as I said, you know, I've got these recently. You know what I mean? That's why they ain't been used until now. I got some footage of bats and I was hoping to get some because there's roe deer down at and muntjac deer down in the jungle, and you know, I wanted to have a look at it. I've got foxes and the such like, you know what I mean? No top hats yet though, but we'll soon see. Never know, might get something. Yeah, as you see, it's pretty effective. But the problem is with these, they ain't, you know, they're 7 times zoom in the optical, so you know, anytime like, you know, this is the green hue. I don't see much different. I prefer the grey to the black and white. And this is only on setting 1. And this is purple or pink, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But this one's a weird one. Yeah. It's still just as effective. You know, they're all effective as one another. You can still see stuff. You know what I mean? Only as if thing. A bit later we'll go for a walk and out a bit further, and I'll show you what it's like. You know what I mean? With the you know, the infrared on and the infrared off, obviously. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking rubbish and I'm going to let you go, and I'll see you soon, because I've still got to set up the sleep mat and you know, sleeping bag and all that. So, alright then, see you soon. Oh, this is my sleeping setup. As you can see, I've got this can't remember what the name of the mat is. I'll tell you in the morning anyway. My pillow, and this is just an old generic, you know, square sleeping bag. It's just 2 season, 1 season if that, but it does the trick because it's lighter than the other one. But I've got my jacket there. Here's my gloves and the such like, and some other they're all just stuff in which put all the bags in. And you know what I mean, as you can see. But as I said before, I'll show you this tent. I'll give you my quick view of it. You know what I mean, an overview of it, and then, you know, hopefully everything will be alright. But you know, either way, that's my setup. As I've shown you my grub, so. But it's quite big in here. This is at least a 6 foot. This here, this is the mat. It's at least a 6 foot in length, and about 3 inches in height, in depth. You know, I mean, it's quite wide as well. I think it's about 1.5 feet wide, maybe you know what I mean. I know it's not a foot. It's definitely wider. But either way, you know what I mean. But I had to turn it around the wrong way because I couldn't pump it up on that side, because the tiny pump, I can't find the valves, so I had to do it from this side. So now the pillar end is up that end, and obviously the arse end is up this end, but I don't give a toss. You know what I mean? As long as it does its trick and helps me to sleep. But anyway, I'll show you the difference. This is what it is with the light, and then that's what it's like now. As you can see, you can only see anything with the light. Alright then, I'll see you a bit later. That's a tiny pump anyway. Anyway, I'll see you a bit later, and hopefully conditions are better. And I'm going to leave you in the darkness. Alright, see you later. Hello there. I'm just going to take a look through the MV goggles. Problem is, when I take them off, I can't see zilch. Anyway, I'll take you out to where I was going to camp. It was around there somewhere. Can't remember where now. Can't see zilch, you know. I'm wandering through this. I'm just hoping. Few stars. Treetops. And the bushes themselves. Yeah, I'm just gonna end up going on again. So I'll keep this short. You know what I mean? So I'll get back without it falling on my ass. Anyway, one quick look. That's a train, if you can hear that in the background. Close to a train track. Anyway, I'll see you a bit later. I'm just gonna make a coffee and then I'm gonna crash out. The time is now, as you see, 11:30. I'm knackered. Anyway, I'm just gonna, burn the midnight oil now. And then I'm going to crush up. So there's a nice little flame burning. I'll just let that boil and then I'll see you in the morning. As soon as I've done this, I'm going to go to sleep. Alright then. Morning. It's about 7 o'clock now. I've been up for about an hour or so. Maybe less than that really. But anyway, I'm gonna make some porridge. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put home and get some supplies, like I'm going to butter them rolls and get some tomato sauce for that sausage, so I can have them rolls a bit later, you know what I mean, and do a decent dinner. Maybe I might get some, frying pan. Anyway, let's get this sorted. Make another coffee as well. This one there. No, yeah, I'm running out of water. I know a place where I can get water, but I'm only about a mile away from home. A mile and a half to that, so going home and coming back ain't going to make no difference. So I'll be back out. It's just boiling already. Quick. It didn't take long. I would say 2 minutes, but it will take a little bit longer than that. Then let's put a little bit more water in it, so I don't want it too stodgy. But like I said, I'm gonna quickly rush home and get some more supplies, and I can get them beers, so I can get brashed a bit later. It's like, you know what I mean? What's a birthday if you ain't gonna get out your head? Yeah, don't get me wrong, there's some you don't have to get out your head, but you know, why not? Innit? Anyway, you ain't gonna want to see me munch on this. Yes, I know it's a baby spoon, but it comes in handy. But, you know, just get this off here, because that don't need that much heat to it, just needs some warming. And I'm gonna stuff this once it's done its thing, and then then make my home and get the goodies that I need. So hopefully I can get, because it smells like it's burned at the bottom, but I'll get that clean, you know what I mean? Not that it makes any difference. That'll come off stainless steel, you know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, I'll go and get I'll butter them rolls when I'm at home, and then go and get them beers, because I want to drink. I just completely forgot it yesterday. So like I said, it won't make a difference, because you know I'm on my way home, innit? Anyway, I know you ain't gonna want to watch me eat this, so if you are, I don't know why, because I see eating is private, you know what I mean? I don't like eating in front of people. And I know you're not exactly here, but you're gonna be watching me eat. You know what I mean? And I don't really want to do that. Anyway, I'm talking. What I'm gonna do is before I'll pack up, I'm gonna quickly explore around here. I've had a quick explore, and I'll show you what this, because this ain't exactly the best place. Everything's dumped. People dump all their stuff over it. But it's alright. I found a few other places in which I can, you know, camp in here. Oh, shit dropping. Found a few other places that I can camp in here, where I can have a little, maybe use a little bush box or something of that sort, you know what I mean, instead of using the gas all the time. I have an open flame, small fire, you know what I mean. So anyway, I'm just extending this, and I don't know why, so I'm going to do the off. And what I do is, I'm going to let that set. What I do is I'll quickly film taking it down, taking the you know, tent down, but you know, I'll just speed it up so you don't have to watch it, do it in time lapse or something. Anyway, I'll see you later. You know the score, leave no trace, as you can see. Only got to put them 2 things away. None of that was me, my gloves are over there. I'm going to put them on in a minute, and I've just got to do that up. Anyway, before that, let's go for that little explore. I'll quickly show you what the crap I was sleeping in last night. But either way, It weren't too bad. I quite enjoyed it, I suppose. It's a nice night. It wasn't the quietest night I've had, but you know, I had a few para moments. You know, quick paranoia, but they soon passed. Anyway, this is what I was saying. The road's just down there. But you see, it's quite a thicket of bushes and such like. There's a van down there. It's been down there since like early hours. Looks like an old building, it ain't. Some maintenance, road maintenance stuff. But either way, yeah, like I said earlier, I went for a quick explore, and I went towards this way to see if there's any other places I can go where I might be able to have a little fire. And I found a possible place because the road, as you see, it goes down. It goes down there, and this hill it goes over, and there's you know, the road won't be able to see, and because where I was over there is the housing, I'll be able to go somewhere over here and have a little fire and no one will see it. I might see a little glow, but they'll probably ignore it. But you know, that's only if they're on foot though. Yeah, which way do I go? Yeah, I pushed all the way into there. There's a little place in there somewhere I could go. I'll push my way through and I might be able to get it. So yeah. Be a bit of doing, pushing through this. There's loads of rubbish, as you can see. I mean, I don't know how I even got over it, to tell the truth. But because there's a fence all around this, that's the reason why I came in there, because it was fenced off. As you can see, but all this, plenty of wood to burn as well. Proper jungle in here. But anyway, as you can see, look, just it slopes down. And like, as you can see, look, over there that's the horizon basically. And I could like, even if I couldn't get a tent in here, you know what I mean, I could get a tarp and have a little, you know what I mean, have a little fire. There's that bit over there, but I don't know what it's like. It looks a lot more dense. But around here, it looks alright. So if I was somewhere like here, you know, around here somewhere, I could have a little fire. And it wouldn't make so much difference. I mean, it's a bleeding old golf club, look, with no head. Oh no, it has, look. Oh no, it ain't. I thought it had an head, look. No, see? Old golf club. Who plays golf over here? There's a golf course over that way, right across the road. But you know, there's loads of golf balls in here. How the bleeding golf balls get in here? People must be a bad shot. I want to give up golf and get rid of golf balls are coming in here. Because the golf course is like I said, it's across the road from here. Look, there's one there, can you see it? You know what I mean? How the bloody hell did they get their golf balls over here? It's well away from them, you know what I mean, from the golf course. Or any of the holes that they're like, you know, aiming for. So, how the bleeding hell did they get it over here? Anyway, like I said, another time I'll come over here. But, you know, I'm more interested in going further up the canal. So probably to the place where I've camped before. If you've already seen that, you'll know. But if not, I might go, you know, a little bit further in. I've forgotten which way I went. Anyway, I might go a bit further in and then and bleeding hell, I've forgotten where I was. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'll go a little bit further in and like, you know, yeah, there it is. But and there's another little woodland area that I've like, I call the jungle. I might pop in there. So, but yeah, coming this way, like down here, it will be a bit of a thicket. You know, with the rucksack as well. So I haven't got a rucksack on my back, obviously. But you know, who's to say? It could be like, you know what I mean? It'd be a nice little camp around here. And have a little fire. If not, then I'll go back to where I was, or a different place. So, like, so I usually come in here sometimes to just have a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? I'll show you where I usually sit. This is where I was going to camp. But, you know, because I was worried that people might come in here, I camped over there because it was a bit more sheltered. You know what I mean? So that's the problem with it. You go one place and you end up in another. But yeah. But now I know, for instance, if no one's coming here, comes in here at any time. There's the road. But no one comes in here at any time, then you know what I mean? I might camp over here. You know what I mean? I'll show you where I usually sit and have a coffee. You know, no one comes in when I have a coffee, and I'm in here sometimes for an hour, just, you know, taking the wildlife in. Now here, this is where I usually sit. As you can see, I moved that out of the way. I've moved this out of the way, you know what I mean? It's just got all these, you know what I mean? And it's big enough for a tent. Yeah, and like you can see right out to there. And like, you know, as you can see, you won't be able to see the tent unless someone actually walks in here. But you know, no one, like I said, no one's come in here. Like, you know, all the times I've come in here quite a few times since I found that, because they knit the fence up, you know what I mean, sometimes to stop people from coming in here. But people, once again, they break the fence to get in here. I never broke the fence, you know what I mean, someone else did, but it works for my advantage, obviously. Anyway, I'm going to collect the rucksack and I'm do the off, and I'll see you on the next camping, which will be within a couple of hours. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I want to get home and go and get them beers and replenish on some food. You know what I mean? So until then, you have a good day, and you know what I mean. And if you don't mind, you know what I mean, put a comment in saying happy birthday. That'll be well appreciated. You know what I mean. Oh. All right then. See you later. I'll see you later. I don't know, whenever, but I'll see you soon. Laters.